Dearly beloved, we're gathered here this evening in the Church of the Battenbergers. Let me just get this. Evening. I will say before I get into some of the comments that I had, you know, those real gut-wrenching, sinking feelings you sometimes get when computers go absolutely, horrifically wrong. Yeah, I had one of those about 10 minutes ago. I exited my my running order, and I thought I'd lost it completely. And somehow the computer automatically saved it, and it's taken me a full 5 minutes and a cup of ye old hibiscus to right myself. But I genuinely thought that all of my work from the last 2 days had just disappeared. Wow. Anyway, I just want to welcome DC into the body of the Kirk this evening. DC says, hiya, everyone. Now, not to go into too much detail, but I know that DC is going through it at the moment. So it's an honour and a privilege to have you here on the live this evening, DC. I do hope you enjoy it, and to everyone else that's in the body of the Kirk, if you could show your support to DC, who's, well, he's having a tough time at the moment, but good to have you in the body of the Kirk as always, DC. To Alan, hello, all ye wrong'uns. I'm first in the pews, ready with 2 Battenbergers on some buns. Oh, you dirty tart. Whose buns would they be then? Yeah, wrong'un. GB Patriot, evening wrong'un. I hope the Battenberg doesn't run out, and hope you enjoyed my email reply re Kate and Kingston's Secret Service-ing. Yes, I did, GP. Always, sorry, GB. Always good. Always good. Andrew James says, look, Rongan, tonight there's going to be a treat at the Kirk. I'm going to wear my leather western boots, black Stetson, and a leopard print undies. Oh, I say, Andrew. Certainly pushing it out this evening. I'm going to dance on top of the altar to Baltimora. Woody Book... Baltimora, wasn't that Baltimora had a massive tune middle of the 80s. Oh, I can't remember the title. Ooh, there's a first. Woody Boogie. I'm sure it would be. Just don't put anybody's eyes out with it. Andrew James. Yeah, wrong. Neil Cunningham, evening all. Battenberg will be available during tonight's sermon. I do hope so. Haven't had dinner yet, so definitely need some sustenance whilst presenting the sermon, so to speak. Stuart says, evening, Adrian. Yeah, wrong'un. Evening, all wrong'uns. Hope everybody is well. Andrew James says to Neil Cunningham, does it come with fries or chips? Or as... Alan says, between some buns. Dirty tart. Karina Jane, evening all. Evening, Karina Jane. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Louise Hampson says, evening all. Yeah, wrong'uns. Honestly, I'm still just getting over my computer nearly blowing up and losing all of this. I thought, well, I had all these notes. All I'm going to have to do is just come on at the beginning of the live and say, I'm really sorry, but my computer's gubbed up. I've got no notes. Thankfully, God obviously loves Battenberg. Marcia Tom says, good evening to everybody at the Kirk. Shift up the pews, you wrong'uns. Yeah, budge up. Marcia Toms wants to get in there, in the pews, so to speak. Andrew James, oh, it's ladies' night and the feeling's right, according to... Robert Cool Bell and the gang. Or is it Andrew James? It's ladies' night at the Kirk tonight. Oh, I say, Andrew. Neil Cunningham. Starmer already dodging the questions being asked. Oh, I'm sure. Now, I did think about kind of doing a live kind of response video. But to be fair, I think what I've got to talk about this evening is much, much, much more interesting than anything those two thick tarts are going to talk about on Sky. Can I just give you an irony? When Rich Boy was young, he wouldn't have been able to watch himself on Sky. Andrew James. Oh, what can I say? Baltimora. Hang on a second. I'm just going to hit a couple of buttons, and that'll do, and then that'll do. Because some Tarzan boy, there you go. I knew it would come to me eventually. At my age, there's the thing. Yeah, Baltimore, Tarzan boy. Can you remember that from the mid '80s? Yeah, it was shite then. Said a spokesperson. Hang on a second. So Andrew James says to Neil Cunningham, "I have it on now." Thought you were wearing your boots, you wrong one. I'm hoping Beth will mention Savile and McLibel. He made a fortune from McLibel and the documentaries that followed. Oh, I say, James. Sorry, Andrew. Accurate on it this evening. But I am going to talk about kind of stuff that's going on. But honestly, these Muppets, these absolute Muppets. I say, hibiscus is rather strong and rather hot. Neil Cunningham also says, the only policy of his I agree with is the creation of a public-owned energy company. I don't think you are aware of this, but I think it's Denmark have found this massive deposit of critical minerals, and Ukraine has huge deposits of critical minerals. So why all of a sudden is all that? We'll talk about it tonight. Because there's the stuff that these thick tarts are not saying. So if you want to ask a politician, ask them, what about Charlie 19? Nearly said it. Nearly got myself banned there. Yeah, what about Charlie 19, you tart? And what about Brexit, you tart? Amelia, yeah, it's just you buffering. Amalia, sorry. Yes, it's just Adrian. Michael Mosley, my cause of death was natural causes. What do you make of it? Well, if you go out in 40-degree heat, it's bound to be natural. I mean, a doctor? Oh, unless you my phone is an arse, Amalia. Well, what can I say? That's funny. No, I'm not buffering here. I will let you know. Can I just say, global warming, my hairy backside. It's flipping freezing. Have you got your heating on yet? Me too. People over 65 to be tested at A&E's doors in 10-hour waiting list. Oh, retro, was he really? Oh, I say, fully vaccinated. Good old Dr. Michael Mosley. Yes, well, taken out on his shield. Not going to judge anyone for taking the jibber jabber, but I'm telling you something, I wasn't daft enough. To Kaz987, a tip for Beth Rigby. Get into their ribs. No, sorry. Kaz says, don't ask a question, then constantly talk over the person giving the answer. Ask, then shut up and listen to the answer before moving on. As I've said many times on the videos and lives, doing interviews is difficult. It is challenging, but the political stuff. How old is Wishy anyway? Because my son's 45 and we didn't get Sky until he was about 14. Yeah, he's mid-40s. No. Sky wasn't around. Was it, can you remember the square reel? Can you remember the square reel? And was it B Sky B or BSB or something? Because I didn't go for Sky. I went for the other one because I thought the other one was more quality. If he's 44, then he was born in, hang on, where are we? 1980. BSB was fab. Fill you in, thank you. CFAX back then. Oh, yeah, all the swingers on CFAX. I can't tell you how I know. What would happen if everyone wrote, I don't consent to the above? Yeah, I've seen that, Leah. I've seen that. Don't. Honestly. Tell Block Tracy, what the bloody hell are you going on about? So BSB. I think it was kind of the cheaper version of Sky, but then Sky bought it out. Oh, buy the what? Buy the politician, buy the competition out. Sorry, you are distracting me. Stop that. I need to say hello to some of the body of the Kirk. I'm not quite sure what the numbers are for. I haven't asked any questions. You're utter wrong. And it took me 5 minutes to remember Baltimora Tarzan boy. Anyway, so yes, doing interviews is quite challenging and difficult. Oh, can you imagine? Kaz, you're wrong. And Sunak's parents did not want him watching the 10-minute free view. No, or the 10-minute free bit to Babe Station or what it was at midnight. Can you imagine? Young rich boy. 5 5s to 25. Only those that know, no. Sky was launched in 89, yeah, and I think Blowjob Burley was on there. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? She was there in 1989. She still looks younger than she did then. Oh, Adrian, you're just such a tart. There are 4 houses round the corner with square eels. Have they still, honestly, can you still drive around and see the square eels on the side of people's houses? Wonderful. So those that are, those interviewers that are, I've got a fly. I've got a fly that's flying around my phone. So if you see anything zip across the screen, it's a little fly that's going to get it eventually, depending on how quick my reactions are. Who remembers the CB radio? 1010 till we do it again, Chris Mundy. Yeah, they killed off CB radio. Do you know how they dealt with CB radio? They just made it legal. And everybody went, oh, it's legal now. How boring is that? So that's how they got rid of it. Make it legal. Mind you, talking of which, I'm a big nerd on the history of BSB and Sky. Thank you, Martin. Martin Sullivan, good to have you in the body of the Kirk. Stuart, he's buzzing with you, Adrian. Yeah, he is, but might be female. Don't know. I thought it was a game of Space Invaders. Neil Cunningham. Ooh. 10-4, good bud. Wiggy. Oh. Call Rishi on 0898. Call a millionaire. No, I think he was getting the 10-minute free view for Babe Station. Was it Babe Station? I can't remember what it was called. And I only looked for research purposes, obviously, because I was on air at that time and I had to talk about it on the radio. Hello, Martin, said Retro. Neil Cunningham says the only thing that Beth Rigby has got going for her, she's got a cracking pair of Brad Pitts. You'll probably get me into trouble, Neil. Napoleon Blownapart says, good evening, parishioners. And good day, Reverend Allen. Good day to you, Napoleon Blownapart, sir, and your good lady. I hope yourself and Mrs. A are doing well, and I hope all your problems are minor. I've got a lamp on my forehead. My handle was Bubbles on the CB. Bubbles? Chris? Bubbles? Where were we? Andrew James, can someone tell Starmer he was brought up in an affluent part of Surrey? His dad was a toolmaker, and we see evidence of his father's toolmaking every day on the telly. Starmer. Sir Keir Starmer, is he scaring you yet? I'm telling you, and I predicted this for 18 months. The Tory party are done, and people will stand in the booth and go, Caesar the Geezer on Television X, Tower Block Tracy. No. Retro says Starmer's a tool. He's a thick tart as well. His dad didn't make any good tools then. No, I agree with you. Or useful tools, shall we say. So, Napoleon Blown Apart. By the way, did anyone watch Kevin Spacey with Piers Morgan? And what was your opinion? Ooh, shall we talk about that before we get going, Napoleon Blown Apart? Because, yes, I did. And I don't know. I'm really torn. On the one half, was he acting? Was he doing his Frank Spencer? Frank Underwood. I'm joking. Wasn't there an Underwood that played cricket for England and was an amazing bowler? Amalia Grassi says, blow me down with something. Fan my brow is the phrase you're looking for, Amalia. Managed to remember before time that the live is on. Oh, I say, Amalia, you're thankful and so pleased that you're in the body of the Kirk this evening, because I know you do miss it. Just preparing sofrito for a minestrone. Hope all well, everyone. What's sofrito for a minestrone? Life as a minestrone, according to 10cc. You know, I was talking to somebody this afternoon. We will get into this eventually. I was talking to somebody this afternoon, and they said to me, Derek Underwood. Derek Underwood? Yeah, we can get away with Derek Underwood. What you retract that for, Louise? Was it Derek Underwood? Sure it was. The cricketer. Medium pace, right arm, over the wicket. So I was talking to a friend about, what kind of lights you up. And I just said music. And obviously, I've done something today because any chance of mentioning, apart from Baltimora, it's not really music. Any chance of mentioning music, there I am. Derek, definitely. Napoleon blown apart, thank you. Spacey was acting. Well, sorry, we'll get to Napoleon blown apart's question. By the way, did anyone watch Kevin Spacey with Piers Morgan, and what was your opinion? I didn't realise we would talk about it or touch on it this evening. Steady, Adrian. We bowled India out in the late 1960s. I've always been medium pace and right arm. Sometimes I lie on my left arm and think somebody else is doing it. Left arm bowler, Peter Conway. So I watched Kevin Spacey. I watched The Crying. I watched The Answers. And he didn't really answer the Epstein dilemma. Tarblock Tracy, you could have knocked me down with the breeze from AA's wallet. My wallet never comes out, so there's never any breeze on it. And I don't know. I mean, there's a darkness about Kevin Spacey, for sure. This is, in my view, there's a darkness about him. Sofrito, an aromatic mix of onion, carrot, and celery. Oh, I say, Stephen, you first. Des Ashton, my dad's occupation was master toolmaker. Hang on, Des. Master toolmaker. After the fifth son was born, the registrar told me mum he very probably was. Very good, Des. Very good. Michael Barrymore was in Home Bargains today. He's not having another pool fitted, is he? Yeah, it's a bit difficult having a few balls knocking down your mid-wicket. So, Kevin Spacey, I'd love to know your thoughts in the text, if you wish, in the comments. Lorraine Kelly said that Spacey was horrible and very arrogant. Well, he's a double Oscar winner. You know, he's up there with the elite in Hollyweird. Or are they going to replace that Hollywood sign with "They're all at it" instead? Because I understand that, and honestly, this may be a stream of consciousness this evening, but Oprah, the Ozempic kid, Oprah. Brilliant, Rexan. My dad was an erection manager for British Steel. It was very embarrassing growing up. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I don't follow any of those well-known oiks, the Bovril says. Malia Grassi says, no, I better not. She swore in that. So I know that Spacey is... Let me get my seat sorted. I know that Spacey he's double Oscar winner, so he's going to be in there with the elite. He's going to be invited to all the best parties. Depends on how you define best. But I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to have to watch it again because I watched it and there was a distraction by his he was flashing his ring. Might have been fingering his own ring because it kept clanking on the desk every time his hands hit the desk. You could hear his ring clanking. So if I'd been his PR, I would have said, look, Kevin, don't finger your ring while you're on with peers. It might be distracting. But I'm going to watch it again. If you have an opinion on Kevin Spacey, please, in the text, I'll get to it and read it later. Hang on, Napoleon blown apart. Holy cow, Amalia, you're not disturbing the pews tonight. No, she's cooking. She's in the vestibule doing something rather nice. Sofrito. Nikki Watson, evening all. Evening, Nikki. And Rexanne Amalia, you made it. Ria Odell, hello, one and all. Right, that's taken a while. That was a bit of phenomenal actor. Jim Atkinson might put Piers right off. I don't think it will put Piers off his stroke. Do you think he got the customary 250 quid? Well, if Fiona Harvey's to be believed, refractory. Oh, I say. And Tablock Tracy, you bad? Oh, always. Now, let's get our feet under the table And there was a point where I thought, I'm never going to do 2 hours tonight. I just haven't got enough material. I might only do an hour because I haven't had any dinner and I'm hungry. So I thought, well, maybe I'll finish early. And then I looked at me 20 odd pages of prep for tonight. So might finish sometime Friday morning. Now I know the two Muppets are Nicholas. Oh, Rev, keep your fingers out of my ring. Yeah, Roman. I mean, I'm being a reverend. I'm not going to go to Rome, and I'm never ever going to kiss the Pope's ring. I mean, in public, just not the done thing. So it's live 89. 100 is looming. It's not far away. So tonight it's live 89. Next live is on Sunday, Father's Day. It's footy night. England are playing. The footy kicks off on Friday. And it's Scotland versus, is it Germany? The Germans. So next live is this coming Sunday, 8 p.m. as always. And tonight, as has been proven in the chat already, we're going to laugh at the world. We're going to laugh. We are going to take some things seriously, obviously. But it's good that we have a bit of a giggle tonight. I love irreverence, because I would be the irreverent reverend. And I say, maybe I should have that over the door of the body of the kirk. The irreverent reverend, the iconoclast. If the truth be known, look it up before you start. Kevin Spacey has always played dark characters. Was he method acting? Andrew, very good point. So tonight we're going to laugh at the world. We're going to laugh at the politicians and the political classes. Oh, bless them. What do you mean? What was that? My two cousins will have their first Father's... Hang on. My two cousins will have their first Father's Day without their dad. My heart goes out to them. Yeah. My dad's not around, thankfully. Don't remember him on Father's Day. He's still up there. You're in purgatory. Face yourself for eternity. Twat. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? Can't see me lips. Didn't move. We're going to laugh at the world because America couldn't be more corrupt if it tried. It just couldn't. We're going to talk about it. Oh, we're definitely going to talk about it. And England fans are being warned that they could be. Thank you to the sleuth Time Lord. Not sure if he's lurking. Leah, would you say bad or evil people are wrong-uns, or is it just a term of endearment? Well, in this particular kirk, Leah, it's a term of endearment. It's not like wrong-un. And before anybody starts, for all those that jumped on the bandwagon, I do have a copy of the Top Man tapes, a CD that was released in 2001. It's actually got wrong-uns in there. Tablock Tracy wants you to smash the back doors in or just smash the likes. I think the smashing the likes might be, well, less messy, to be fair. So, yeah. I've only got a 30% smash of the likes going on this evening. So please, if you would, if you don't like the work that we're putting together, then, Foxtrot Oscar. But if you do, please smash the likes. It takes more than sperm to be a father. Lauren Taylor, how very true. How very true. Can I just tell you about, I mentioned musical, sorry. I mentioned the footy starts on Friday. England Sunday, but the England fans are being warned that they could be fined £2,500 if they fly the St George's flag at Euros 2024. Here, just tell the fucking Germans to Foxtrot Oscar. Because the last time we went over there, we gave them a kicking. 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. Up the Germans. So, no, that was Agincourt, wasn't it? In France. So, the Germans can Foxtrot Oscar because technically the England fans are just going to fly the flag of Georgia. So it's not the flag of St. George. It's the same flag that Georgia, the country, has. So the England fans can turn around to the Germans and go, Oi, Helmut, Foxtrot Oscar. I mean, Germany's in a proper panshite. I mean, what's her face? Oh man, ugh, I can't even remember her name. Her face was so ugly that it traumatized me. Just thinking, I had a picture of her, the former leader of Germany. There's a woman that fell out the ugly tree, hitting every branch on the way down. Merkel, Angela Merkel, Merkel. No, that's actually, her name should have been Angela Merkin. Can you imagine having one of those under your nose? Sorry, I'm not taking this seriously at all this evening, am I? No, I've gone from Baltimora Tarzan boy to a Merkin. Yeah, get the Georgia flag. Merkel the turtle. No, I wouldn't. I'd probably get arrested for it. So I wanted to talk about music because now there's a fact come out. Fact that Spotify accounts for 42% of all mechanical royalties, and seemingly, if you came up with like a 3-minute song that I don't know, some AI bot composed for you and played for you, and you stuck it on Spotify and had a phone on 24-hour loop playing it, you'd make 1,500 quid a month. Seemingly. But Spotify accounts for 42% of all mechanical royalties, and do you know what's coming? Look, we've had ABBA. Camel toe. We've had ABBA, and now they're thinking about Kiss. That's my Gene Simmons impression, before you say anything. And now Elvis, seemingly, is going to be the next mega avatar. Now, I feel sorry for all of the Elvis impersonators. It's going to put them right out of work. Can't get AI to do that. I mean, there's like the Chinese Elvis, and there was, and you know, there was actually in the early 80s, only those people from the Northeast would kind of get this from South Shields. I had to explain what South Shields was the other day. South Shields, darling. Or was that a dream I had last night? And there was a Jarrah Elvis. So Heben and Jarrah and Shields and all the kind of South Tyneside. There was a bloke that didn't look anything like Elvis, couldn't sing anything like Elvis, didn't even get up and sing songs like Elvis, but for some inexplicable reason, he was called Jarrah Elvis and was like a real legend in South Tyneside. And if people knew that he was in a pub, they would go to that pub. Jarrah Elvis, probably dead now, but there was Jarrah Elvis and Heben Cliff. Honestly, they were like local legends. Elvis, all those number ones, and it was a number 2 that killed him. That's pretty funny. That is funny. Oh, we need more of that this evening. Gene Simmons. Did I say Gene Simmons? From Louise. Do you know that Kiss sell coffins? A Kiss casket. That is actually so bad that it's funny-ish, maybe. So should we get into the Muppets, the clown show? Chip, there isn't any. It's all work. Bo. There's a guy who works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. Yeah, Kirsty, killed by a speedboat. Do you know, one of these nights, we will literally we'll just do random quotes and random music fills. One of these, lives. And we'll start off and just see where we go. Because I'm sure when you mention songs, I can come up with bits of utter tripe about, I mean, like Kirsty McCall, or I've actually got the vinyl 7-inch of there's a guy down the chip shop swears he's Elvis. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anyway, I want to get to the clowns, man. The clowns. They're everywhere. 79 likes, yeah. Less than half. Well, we've gone up from 30% to nearly half-ish. Let's hope we can get to 100 like. Oh, we've got up 1. See if we can get to 100 before I finish in 2 days. So we'll try and get some context and perspective on a lot of what's going on. Bobby Davro confesses that he got caught in bed with Les Dennis following a very drunken night out. Have I ever slept with any of me mates being absolutely squiffy? No. But you know, Amanda Holden went off with someone while she was married to Les Dennis. And you know why she went back? This is from the horse's mouth. Les Dennis was more well hung. Now, it might have been a gag, I'm sure, but that was from the horse's mouth. I wouldn't say the dog's, horse's mouth. Why the long face? So the clown world. I can't wait just to get into this, because there's some. Honestly, I know I say this, and it's me saying it, but I've got some wonderful stuff tonight that you absolutely, categorically won't get anywhere else. So don't toddle off anywhere. I know it's still light outside, but don't toddle off anywhere, because I've got. We're going to talk about no royals, kind of. Hunter Biden, jail or no jail. We're going to go anti-jibber jabber, because, well, I've got some stuff to tell you. And the manifestos, oh my hairy backside, what are these? I mean, why don't they just come round to our door and go, here, hello, it's the Tory party, can I give you £1,000? I mean, you would check your fingers after you shook the hands, but any of the political parties, they are so desperate. They'll say absolutely anything. They'll say the moon is made of blue cheese if you vote for me. I mean, that might be more the Tory party, because you know what they're like with things with blue veins in it. He's only size 9 feet, Les. It's not the size of the feet. It's actually the size of the forearm. Let me tell you. Any Belfield news, Aid? Yeah, he's still in jail. He's got a year to go, Martin. Actually, I was going to do a video, so watch out for that for the next couple of days. Right, clowns. I want to get to the clowns. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck on a live on YouTube with you. Yeah, wrong. And we're going to talk about the French. I mean, I had a French girlfriend once, and it is true. All the French are arrogant. Arrogant. No, I can't. No, I won't. But no, Adrian, you can't tell that one. It's ungallant. But all I'll say is, no, I can't. Rusty Mouse. Honestly, she was a lingerie model. And this is back in the day when I was much more svelte. And, she was an arrogant ass. I'm now laughing at my own gags. Nearly choking to death. That was her excuse also. So, let's get on to the clowns, man. The clowns. So, France have got this snap election. Probably snapped off, to be fair. Jib, I can't. I mean, I haven't identified her. I'll think about it and I'll tell you in the next live. So, have you heard this rumour about Emmanuel Macron shagging a bloke? Have you? Seemingly, it was his school teacher. He was 40 odd, and he was 15. And seemingly, Emmanuel Macron's wife or husband, however you determine it, had a brother, and the brother disappeared, and then suddenly got a sister. Yeah, it's nothing better than a bit of French. And Meno, and like, I mean, it's social media, and you take everything. MZK, hang on. Poppy cherry, hugs and all, and grins and... MKZ, have you been on the MZK? No, MZK. Have you been on the altar wine already? No wonder there's hardly any left for anybody else. But I know it's social media, and social media tend to be a bit, full of it. And it's... I mean, I can't stop laughing at how they reckon... is it Barry Swallow is actually Barack Obama, and that Michelle is Big Mike. And I saw a video today where, hang on, Vivian Kenyon, how could you? And in Darlington, you had the little fella, the jockey, up there in Darlow recently. Oh, Rich Boy sung, saying, oh, yes, well, and Darlington's quite posh, Viv. I mean, it has its moments, but quite posh. The Tawny Owl, what a great pub that is, Viv. There's only Viv will understand what I'm talking about. I want to get to the clowns, because France have had are going for a snap election, and the French, they want to be cleverer than everybody else. They want to have it all. And now, when they have a general election, they have two. Not one, two. A couple of weeks apart. One in June, one in July. And Emmanuel has decided that Hayden, what are you talking about? Hang on a second. Blimey, Hayden, that's a bit deep. I thought we were going to have a bit of a giggle tonight and have a laugh and just laugh at the whole world. Anyway, Germany is on the precipice of going to the polls. Didn't Spain have a snap election? And then France has had a snap election. And then Germany's having a snap election. What are these clowns up to? They're up to something, definitely. Agenda 21, probably. But they want to get past 2027. Andy Turner, it's the only face I've got. Don't get too close to the camera. Do you want me back here? Yeah, I mean, look at the framing of that man, Andy. And it's the only physical I've got. Yeah, Hayden, you're wrong, says Jib. And then in this country, conservatism is going to be obliterated. I mean, proper obliterated. It's going to morph into reform, seemingly. But can I just point something out to you? So in America, because the Americans are not the brightest, I thought it was Sid James then, Wiki videos. Wiki, you're wrong. I look nothing like Sid James. I can't laugh like him either. That was awful. So in America, you have a two-party system, Republican and Democrats. I mean, they're not the brightest over there. Look what they've got for president. I mean, President Poopy Pants and his son. As Leah says, a lot can happen between now and the 4th of July. I agree completely. More like Clive James, Martin Sullivan, you're wrong. I agree with you. But just look at this. So you think we have democracy in this country? Look at America. Do they have democracy there? No. They're corrupt. They are absolutely corrupt with a capital K. I'm being facetious. In this country, all of a sudden, President Grandpa Simpson, that is funny. Stuart, that is funny. And follow the money, Chip. Yeah, I know. That was Rush Limbaugh that came up with that many moons ago, an American shock jock. And what was I going to say? Two-party system. So America's got it, right? You look at that and you look at how corrupt it is. It doesn't matter the political hue. It's all corrupt. It's the American dream. Make shitloads of money for doing absolutely nothing. Ask Nancy Pelosi. How does she make tens of millions? And she's only paid like 100 odd grand a year, less than 200 grand a year. And she's making millions. Insider trading, anyone? Don't know why I said that. But in this country, so we've got the clowns. We've got the utter thick tart clowns. And they've had 14 years of literally, I mean, I'll give you 2 words, just 2 words. If you want corruption, Michelle Moan. Oh, wait, Michelle, give us the money back. I'm just asking on behalf of me mates. Well, that's just the whole of the electorate, really. I don't know whether she might be able to connect to Starlink on her yacht with her husband. Now, I'm not saying that they're corrupt, but where's the 27 million gone? Was that the profit margin? And the PPE that you procured, was that used, Michelle? But I think she's being used as a a blast shield. I think she's being used as everybody will think, oh, Michelle Mone and the PPE, when there was loads of other people also getting their fingers caught in the till. And the two-party system suddenly is, well, we've got Labour, the socialists, we've got Labour, comrade. And they're not even, like, I give Labour 12 months to convert the UK to Islam if they get in. Well, you know who's going to return when Labour get in, because they are. I'm going to give you the most recent YouGov poll. You know who's, what's her face that went over to become an ISIS bride, and she's desperate to get back into this country. Yeah. Do we still allow terrorists in? Well, of course. Come across on the boats, don't they? So now we have the Tories that are going to be eviscerated, obliterated. There will be no Tory party. And do you know the mistake that they made? They didn't go to the country. They didn't go to their membership because the membership of the Tory party, Shamima Begum, thank you. The Tory party went to the country, their members. And who did they vote for? Liz Truss. Liz Truss. And Freudian slip. And they didn't go for Rich Boy. But the Parliamentary Conservative Party wanted Rich Boy in. Because they knew. Trotter Cameron, how much is he making? On his sojourn here, there and everywhere. So they got Rich Boy in when the membership didn't want Rich Boy because he was just a rich boy. And this is the Tories talking. So they got rid of Rich Boy, put him in as Prime Minister. And now you've got the Tory party literally, I mean, I think it's being put in there to kill the party off. But miraculously, you've got the Labour Party and then the Reform Party comes in. Now, I'll give you the new YouGov poll. Taken today, over 2,000 people questioned, and the latest YouGov poll states that Labour is absolutely miles ahead at 38%. And then the Tories at 18%. But very interestingly, Reform are at 17%. And then the Lib Dems, 15%. Now remember, Ed Davey, that's the man that wouldn't meet. He said, "Oh yeah, I did offer to meet Alan Bates." It's called covering your ass. So Ed Davey, have you seen much of him? We'll talk about their manifesto and the other manifestos because it's the funniest thing in the world. I mean, it's a begging letter. For all of these political parties, their manifesto is a begging letter. It is, because they're begging to get, no, please, you know, we'll do anything you ask. Oh, yeah, we'll save the NHS. Yeah, not a problem. We'll put 20 million cops on the streets. Yeah, we'll have integrity and decency and professionalism. And I'm lying out the back of my neck. No, don't. Honestly. So you've still got the two-party system. You've got the Labour Party who will screw this country up like you've never seen before. You think we're in debt now. Just wait. And do you know how I can say that? Because we had Charles Linton as the leader of the Labour Party. Oh, you don't know who Charles Linton is? Google it. And it's there. So Charles Linton I'm going to answer Leah's question now. She said, do you think that Brexit will be reversed? Oh, yes. Because they're all corrupt. And I will mention that in a second because it's in me notes. So you think you've got the two-party system. Yes, you have got the two-party system. It's only two parties. You've got you think that the political classes are going to go, oh, of course. Yes, democracy. Yes, we have democracy in this country. Do we? Bollo. No, we don't. It's all rollicks. So you've got the Labour Party who are going to get in and do the WEF agenda. They're going to do the Chinese Communist Party's agenda. They're going to do the Russian agenda. You think they're not? Do you think Keir Starmer's aware of the Russian subs off the coast of Florida? Do you think that Sir Keir Starmer is a Wefite? Do you think he's been to Davos? Oh, you bet your sweet baby. So, you've got the begging letter from the Green Party today. We'll talk about that. Oh, I might not have printed it off. But then you've got the Tory Party launch for their manifesto yesterday. Furlough, furlough, furlough. If you look at every single speech that Rich Boy does, he goes, oh, remember when I was good to you? Remember when I did furlough? And remember when I dragged the country from its knees single-handedly and gave everybody money? Can you remember that? Yeah, it's me, I did that. Every single speech he makes, he talks about the Charlie 19 and how wonderful and magical and magnanimous he was in giving you all that money, letting you stay at home for, over a year on 80% of your wages while you're watching Netflix and pulling the head off it. Yeah, and as Alan says, 3 times they locked us down. Remember, the first time they locked you down, it was for 6 weeks. Bojo the Clown said 6 weeks. Liar. So every time that Rich Boy gets up, oh, yeah, just remember how good it felt when I did furlough. Someone's put a photo of Jimmy Savile and Keir on a Facebook feed. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that one. But what they're now getting is the political classes want you to think that it's democracy. They want you to think that you have a choice. Do you stuff? What you have is the Labour Party and another party that is just the establishment, all the same. Doesn't matter what name is above the door, it's all the establishment. So how many multimillionaires do you think there are in Reform? Well, there's a 2 at the top. Richard Tice is worth nearly 100 million. Do you think he's part of the establishment? Oh, you bet your sweet baby. And Nigel, making plans for Nigel. Multimillionaire, Nigel. I've only got one question for Nigel, and nobody in the media will ask this. Did he short the NatWest stock when it was all kicking off about Coots? Come on, Nige! Cuff! Did you short NatWest when you were having your little spat with Coots? If you don't know what shorting is, Google it. Basically, you're betting on the shares going down. And he's made a couple of million since then. He only had 2 million, so he shouldn't have had the Coots account, seemingly. And now he's got 4. How do you make 2 million quid in 18 months? I think you should tell us, because I might take up his course. So we've got the obliteration of the Tory party, but then you just got the establishment shuffle in and going, there you go, there's 2 parties for you to choose from. You can choose the left, or that's a bit more right, but it's still the right, so you can choose either or. Why don't the political casters go in Foxtrot Oscar? We can see right through and we've had enough. But I'll get to that in just a little while. Now, you know the Tory party, that's little cockeyed. He's trying to make this the tax election. Because he wants you to think that, Labour are going to put £2,000 extra tax on. Oh, you just know they're plucking that out of thin air. But there may be an element of truth to it. Because remember, the Tory party, the Conservatives, back in the 90s, when Tony Blair was trying to get in, they did the real evil eyes. Remember those, the red eyes, the evil eyes? They weren't far away, were they? Charles Linton, Google it, and what he was up to. Bow Street magistrates, seemingly. How much did Bailey of the Bank of England make shorting the pound when he started selling them when Truss was PM? Kwasi Kwarteng, the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I read somewhere that the Chancellor of the Exchequer shorted the pound. They're all at it. It's all corrupt. Politics is corrupt. There's no integrity in politics whatsoever. So don't expect young Nigel to step in and go, lads, beer and, He wants to be leader of the opposition. He's got to become an MP first. And cockeyed is, yes, this is the tax election. We are. Alexa, don't. I'm in the middle of my flow, man. So.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Damn right you don't. Foxtrot Oscar. So, little cockeyed is making this about the taxes, and he's saying, "Oh, we are the party of lower taxes." When he's raised taxes 15 times. Oh, let's talk about national insurance. That's not actually a tax. National insurance was taken to support the NHS. But look how quickly they go, yeah, we're going to drop national insurance, unless you're the Greens, of course, in which case they're going to up it by £20 million each. So the Tory party want you to believe, Alexa, the Bovril wants you to show us your bottom.
I don't know that.
The Bovril, sorry. Luxury car tax for cars over 40k from next year. Ooh, retro. Well, you know, they're trying it. They've tried the electric vehicles, but I did say to you a year ago, and I got some people giving me pelters for it. I did say to you, the minute the insurance companies will not insure electric vehicles because they go, poof, that's when you know electric vehicles are not going to last. Unless you're Tesla, of course, but I will talk about that in just a little while because I've got some inside knowledge. So you've got the Tory party making this election about tax. When the public are not interested in bribery, that's what you do if you're corrupt. You bribe people, you give them money, and you say, vote for me, I'll give you money. And everybody is just turning around going, oh, here, Foxtrot Oscar, man, we've had enough of you. You and your expensive suits and your short ties and your short sleeves. Have you noticed how the sleeves on his suit are up here somewhere? I mean, this man's got so much money, he could buy a 10 grand suit every day for the rest of his life and still not spunk his money up the wall. So you've got come on, rich boy, what's all this? What are you in, Miami Vice? And then there's the Lib Dems. So you've got the Tory party obliterated. Reform's going to come in. They're ahead of the Lib Dems. They're going to become the only opposition, really, because everybody is absolutely Rishi and Norman Wisdom. Brilliant, Alan. The new electric Mini is 40k. Jip, buying a. You know that the insurance companies have decided that the car batteries cost so much that they're just replacing the cars rather than replace the electric battery if the car is involved in a crash. Brilliant. Just get a new car. Get one of those from Poundland. Walk around Newcastle, Manchester, no one is at work. The scales have tipped. Yeah, absolutely. They're now talking about people being on incapacity benefits and mental health stuff, so people are just slacking at home. Watching the telly whilst they're telling the benefits system, oh no, I've got mental health problems. So we now have a two-party system. According to GB News, Sunak regrets D-Day mistake as Starmer makes no apology. No, I'm not going to apologise. No, don't be stupid. I'm Sir Keir Starmer. Do I scare you yet? And Rich Boy, come on, I know you regret it, but the public have had enough. We literally, well, I can't speak for you, but I speak for me, looking at the political system, and I know I'm absolutely fed up to my back teeth of all the bullshittery and all the corruption and all the ne'er-do-wells that are just grifting and are just skimming off all the money. And saying, oh, it's me wife. And then the Lib Dems. This is Ed Davey, who I think must have been on this when he was trying to cover his backside with the Alan Bates and the post office scandal. The Lib Dems want to legalise weed. I jest you not. It's in their manifesto. So, I can... Look, it's a gateway drug. It is a gateway drug. It's not, let's just have a toke at a party. It's a gateway drug. Proven. Multiple times over multiple decades. So The Lib Dems want to legalise it. I mean, I've been to places like Vancouver where it's legalised, and literally every street corner stinks of it. And Alan says 16-year-olds to get the vote. Labour, Greens, exactly the same. The Greens want proportional representation. They're all at it. They're all trying to. It's a rigged game, and they want the rigged game to be rigged in their favour. They're not interested in doing the right thing for communities. They're not interested in doing the right thing for families, because the game is you just tax the hell out of everybody, make all this money, and then come up with spurious reasons why you'll give money here, or you'll give money there, or you'll want to build HS2. How many politicians, knowing HS2 and knowing the route of HS2, bought some of the houses up because then they were going to be compulsory purchased by the government for possibly 2 or 3 times its worth? The green stuff is a sacred plant. Dan Brooker. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I wouldn't want somebody driving a car while smoking it. So we've got all of these, they're all just begging. They're all just begging. The Greens, I mean, I've lost the will to live. The Lib Dems, the Greens, worthless. Fabricant did. Yeah, I see he lent his wig to Macron's missus. Looks like it. Michael Fabricant, have you seen his? Yeah, looks like the First Lady of France has borrowed it. So there's Rich Boy. He's turned round and said, yeah, I've got respect for Nigel. Is that Rich Boy actually saying, I've made plans for Nigel? He's got respect for Farage. And then you've got Rich Boy, the head boy. Actually, I'd get rid of that on me CV, considering he's in the Tory party. Sucker. So he went without Sky TV as a child. Bless him. Try not having a telly, you tart. Try having no food on the table when you're coming from school, you tart. Try being a latchkey kid, coming home from school and having to sit outside in all weathers when it's freezing your bollocks off. Mate, Sky TV, shove it up your arse. It wasn't invented when most of the people watching this channel grew up, you thick tart. But I've had an idea. Look, I'm the Reverend. So in tonight's sermon, I've come up with some ideas. And I believe that we should look after the little uns and the old uns. Everybody else can graft for it. Because you can. I mean, they reckon that you reach your maximum earning potential in your 30s. Not sure that's true anymore, because you can make most money in your 40s maybe, 50s or 60s, but your 30s, your maximum earning potential years are in your 30s. Seemingly. But the ideas that and none of these manifestos, none of them, they put so much shite in the manifestos that you just lose the will to live. You get into like the Greens tonight. I was looking at immigration, and I was looking at energy, and I just thought, oh, please, I want to stab my eyes out, man. I mean, I'm not a daft lad sometimes, but I just thought, oh, here, I've had enough, man. I'm just reading shite. I'm just reading political shite. Why don't I just stab me fucking eyes out? They're lying. Doesn't anybody get this? They're lying. They're begging letters. They just want on July the 4th to stand in that voting booth and go, who do I vote for? Well, the Lib Dems have said they want to legalise weed. Yeah. Them. No. Do I vote for Labour? Well, they're scaring me now. And do I vote for Reform? Will Farage still be alive on July the 4th, considering the amount of stuff he's had chucked at him? And quite rightly, and just a little aside, quite rightly, politicians on the hustings should be protected. Why isn't Nigel Farage being given protection from police officers, from the intelligence services? This could be the leader of the opposition, and they're letting him have shit chucked at him. Stop. And the first time it happened with like custard pie or whatever it was, people laughed. I mean, there's Joe Brand. said something absolutely abhorrent. Dan Brugger, in Brazil, they're fined if they don't vote. That's democracy for you. Oh, I believe everybody should be forced to vote. Everybody. Because you're looking at maybe a general election turnout of between 30 and 35%. What's happened to the other 65%, the slackers? Are they the ones on benefits who are really worried that if they vote Conservative, then their benefits are going to be taken off them? So here's my ideas. A little manifesto from the irreverent Reverend. I think we should cap all utility bills for the over 60s at an affordable level for those that can't afford it. And I'm not talking about like those that have got shed loads of money. I'm talking about the average man and woman on the street who we know that pensioners struggle. So you hit 60 and there's a cap on everything. So it's affordable. So you can have affordable heating and lighting and warmth, the basic needs fulfilled, and stop. Do you know how the politicians get round it? And this is feeling like a rant tonight when I wanted a bit of a giggle. What the politicians do is they allow the energy companies to charge you anything that they want. And then they turn around and say, well, we'll help the pensioner by giving them 200 quid a winter. Just tell the fucking energy companies, no, that's wrong, that's abhorrent. You can now start charging the pensioners, once they reach 60, you can start charging them £10 a month for their gas, £10 a month for their electric. And as far as giving them 200 quid a month, no, the energy companies can pay for it because they're making billions in profit. Billions. I think pensioners should have free landlines. Don't need a mobile, free landlines. And why don't we give them free transport? This is all from 60-year-old. Yeah, we're matrix batteries. I understand, Jib, completely. But free transport, anytime, anywhere. Trains, buses, planes. Free transport, anytime, anywhere. Let's understand that, you know, you can work hard during the years that you can work hard. But if you get anywhere near having the daily service charges add up to 300 and odd quid a year. Umarian meme. That can stop. The government can pay it, or the energy companies can pay it, or both. So anybody over 60, scrap the standing charge, charge them £10 a month. Simple as that, because they're making money hand over fist, and that goes for the water companies as well. I mean, they're just crooked. They're literally, anybody working in a water company should be dragged off and put in jail and be told, no, you thought it was clever. You know it's corrupt. You're putting shit, literally, in our waterways. So, no, you're going to jail. We'll build some new jails for you. And you know the stuff that you put in the waterways? We're going to give you that as drinking water. And then I would make sure that anybody over 60 had enough money to buy food. So I would say to the supermarkets, right, how much is that loaf of bread? £1, Adrian. Right, you can sell it to the pensioners for 20p. Because that'll cover all your costs, because the rest is all profit. So we're going to take your profit away from anybody that's over 60. Because you've got the rest of society. You've got loads of it. So this is just the start. Bold action. Bold action. This is what little Cockite said. Man's a caring, understanding 90s type. He's not worthy of being in this country. Fuck off back to California. Here's the deal. You want bold action? Twat. This is how it works. Utility bills at an affordable level for anybody over 60. Free phones for pensioners. Free transport anytime, anywhere in the world. Planes, trains, automobiles. Free transport anytime, anywhere. So that we can have integrated pensioners in our society where we revere our pensioners because of what they might have actually given to society over the last 60 years. It's like commemorating the fallen on D-Day. We will remember them. And we do it on 2 days of the year? Yeah. I mean, how mad do you want me to get? 2 days out of 365. And then Rich Boy couldn't even stay for the day. And food, 20% of the cover cost, because that will still give supermarkets profit. Anything they want, 20p in the pound. That's not hard, is it? Or you can give billions away to other countries, Israel, Ukraine, anybody else that fancies it. You can give them billions, but not our pensioners. And what about looking after our kids in hospitals? Oh no, you wanted to give them the jibber jabber. I forgot. And then you want to isolate them through nearly 4 years of lockdown. The mental health tsunami that is still coming. You've got 12-year-olds stabbing random people for no apparent reason. So, for Rich Boy, I know I get a bit aerated because it's not, look, it don't take Einstein to work out what is the benefit for the greater good. It doesn't take Einstein to work that out. It doesn't. Why can't we? Some people go, oh, well, Labour's socialists. The socialists. So they look after the socials. Yeah, but the borrowing. Labour will bankrupt this country. Bread, butter, cheese and chicken reduced for OAPs. All food. All of it. Doesn't matter what it is. 20p in the pound. So if something is going to cost them a tenner, it's only going to cost them a quid. 20% maximum. And I know that a lot of people who've absolutely bust their buns won't retire till 67. Some won't retire until their 70s. And we've known for decades and decades and decades that there was this massive hump coming where a load of people were going to retire and there wasn't going to be enough people in this country giving taxes and national insurance to be able to sustain that. So they had to delay people retiring. Can you imagine? You knock your pipe out for nearly all of your life. You're getting to 68 and 69 and 70, and then you're being told, no, you can't retire. I mean, so the head boy, and being a Tory, I'm sure he does that every day. We know they don't care about anything that will benefit you and I, the electorate, the man and woman on the street. They're begging to be elected. It's not a good look. Please vote for me. Please, no. They'll say anything, promise anything, and then deny saying it. You know that's coming. I mean, come on. This channel has critical thinkers, has very intelligent people watching these lives. And do you know what was missing? And has been missing until Sir Keir Starmer's tried to go, there you go, stick that in your back. There's been no mention up until now that I've seen of the D-Day screw-up. No mention. They're all in it together. They don't care. They don't care about you. They're after the power. They'll tell you anything, promise anything. I'm going to change swift tack because I have a lot to get through. I'm going to talk about the current narratives. I'm going to talk about the meltdown in Europe. I'm going to talk about the NHS medic who refused to get a jibber jabber and has now won a discrimination case for being called an anti-vaxxer. Going to tell you about that. I'm going to talk about Hunter Biden. No, Dad, wasn't me. He's not going to jail. Tell you for why soon. But I am a real fan of history, a real fan of ancient history. People like Graham Hancock, who's been on Rogan a few times. And I want to give you some detail of how nefarious and how evil rich people are. Have you heard of a place called Göbekli Tepe? It's in Turkey. Now, it's miles from anywhere. It is miles and miles and miles from anywhere. And Turkey is massive. It's a huge country. Now, Göbekli Tepe is at least 11,500 years old. It's older than before the wheel was invented. Proper ancient, Chip. It's the world's oldest temple. Covers 22 acres. It's considerably larger than Stonehenge and older. And there are 200, they reckon, T-shaped pillars with lots of carvings on. I mean, exquisite carvings that they were doing tens of thousands of years ago. And then something really weird happens. Money gets involved. Even older than when taxes were invented. Oh, I think the old Bovril might not be that old. I jest. But do you know the WEF is involved with this? Do you know that what they're doing, there's been a 20-year partnership with the Dogus Group. They've got a tourism arm, this particular group, and it's like the guy that owns this Dogus Group is hugely rich. I mean, one of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. But the Dogus Group have got a 20-year partnership with WEF, the World Economic Forum. The billionaire has been at the World Economic Forum, has spoken, and from 2016 to 2036, what they're going to do is they're going to build a new visitor centre. Now, they've built some sustainability there. They're setting up an infrastructure for tourism and protection. So basically, and I have looked at going to Göbekli Tepe, and it's miles away. It is a proper trip. They may have to build an airport there, but they've stopped any excavations. There's going to be no archaeology done there ever again. Well, in the next 20 years, certainly. No archaeology allowed at the site. They've planted trees around the site, so you can't dig underneath it. They reckon it's like 90 odd football pitches big, and they've only got a tiny little bit. Karan Tepe is going to be fully excavated. Göbekli Tepe will be left, and I quote, for future generations to excavate. That's from an author called Hugh Newman. Karan Tepe, which is not as big as Göbekli Tepe and possibly not as old. So all they're doing is they're just setting it up for the tourist dollar. I mean, how grubby is that? The oldest site on planet Earth. And they're setting it up for the tourist dollar. They're saying, oh, it's infrastructure for tourism and protection. Bernard Matthews holiday destination. So I'm going to tell you about the Georgia Guidestones. Are you aware of the Georgia Guidestones? Now, the Georgia Guidestones were they just appeared from nowhere and they had inscriptions on them. Lots of different and varying inscriptions. Turkey, yuck. Who wants to go there? Me, Alan. I want to go to the Blue Mosque. Never been to Turkey. They reckon that the Garden of Eden was actually Turkey. Or Göbekli Tepe. One of the two. Because that's in Turkey. So Turkey is possibly, not Africa, Turkey. But the WEF's going to stop you. You can go there. And they've built a walkway over part of the excavations. So you can't excavate under this walkway and this protective canopy over the original temple, which is tens of thousands of years old. We don't understand half of what Göbekli Tepe is kind of presenting to us. Chip says, I went to Turkey. I've got a violent massage and a nasty rash. The less of that, the better, Chip. Mind you, there are creams. People who go to Turkey get their teeth done. Oh, yeah, and get the bottoms lifted and filler and stuff. But it has history. It has great history. And I wanted to mention the Georgia Guidestones to you. Now, whether you're aware of them or not, they were this kind of monolith that appeared out of nowhere. Nobody knows where it came from. Garden of Eden was near Philippines. Drayton, are you sure? The WHO and the WEF are hand in hand. Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry. Bird flu? Mexico? How did they make that leap? So the Georgia Guidestones appeared from nowhere. Nobody knows who funded it. Nobody knows where it came from. But I just want to read you the inscription because the Guidestones, the Georgia Guidestones, were blown up. Somebody blew them up. I mean, Could it have been? I don't know who it could have been. It just would be speculation. But the inscription reads, or did read, on the Georgia Guidestones, 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million people in perpetual balance with nature. I mean, we're way beyond that. Way beyond 500 million. And this was on the Guidestones as they stood in 2009. It also said, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Now, that... Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you. So they want us to be fitter and more diverse. All right. Have you told that to the Americans? The waddlers? Have you seen the size of them? They should have their own postal code, some of them. Unite humanity with a living new language. Yoko Ono loved the Guidestones, did she? Wonderful. Do you know it's... I spoke to someone again today. John Lennon's birthday on October 9th. I think we should revere that particular October 9th. Love me a Libra, me. Love them. Rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. And not like temper, but tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Oh, try telling that to the corrupt political classes. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Oh, let me think. Are we going to have a one world government? Agenda 21. And it's coming. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Oh, blimey. We've got loads of them all the world over. Balance personal rights with social duties. Beautiful. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Talking God. Because we are the infinite, experiencing itself as consciousness. That's all the human condition is. And be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Pop-eyed was her. I thought you'd been in here all night, you wrong'un. So they were the Georgia Guidestones. Some very wise and sage advice for mankind. And what do? Blow the buggers up. Oh, you know, if anything is going to be contradictory to the good book that the Romans think's very clever, then obviously. Because you know what happened to the Romans? They just became the church. Because nobody knows where they went. Me and you, taxi to Bohemian Grove. Nicholas, yeah, absolutely. Is it Moloch? The owl? I mean, I've had many an argument on the radio. Many arguments about people arguing God to me. And it's just very simple. Prove your God to me. Not the book. Not the book. Because that's been translated from many different languages by men. Not God, men. And I would just say to them, prove your God to me. You can't. Although the Chinese might be able to, because they know of the Christ. Or seemingly the Jesus the Nazarene. They're aware of him. And it's in their books. Was God an alien? Good question. What did the Romans ever do for us? Monty Python. Should we get to global warming? The inconvenient truth. Now, there's a new study out with more than 2,200 historical aerial photos of a 2,000-kilometre stretch of ice in East Antarctica. These photos have recently been uncovered. Oh, let's see what we're going to say now then. The inconvenient truth. Do you know he's made multi-millions out of this? Al Gore. Marcy Thomas, I was quoting Monty Python. See? Now, these rare images reveal what the glaciers in the East Antarctica looked like in 1937. So, you know, global warming, they've conveniently called it climate change. The polar bears are increasing. Jip says it's bloody nippy. I mean, I'm looking out my window. Yeah. But interestingly, the photos all show all these East Antarctica glaciers. They've remained stable, thickened, gained mass, and or increased in elevation over the last 85 years. Let me read that to you again. This is about 2,200 historical aerial photos of a 2,000 kilometre stretch of ice in East Antarctica. And the photos show all of these East Antarctic glaciers to have remained stable, thickened, gained mass, and or increased in elevation over the last 85 years, with much of the growth and mass gains occurring since 1985. Eric von Däniken. Oh, there's a boy. Let's talk about who did Charity of the Gods. Was that Graham? I've got it somewhere. Again, working now, called hybrid working. Tab up, Tracy. Don't know what you're talking about. There have been no warming in this region since the 1950s. You know, global warming? There's been no zip, zilch, nix, nada, bugger all warming in this region since the 1950s. This suggests that global warming plays a minimal role in ice thickness changes. Now, they won't publish that, will they? No, you've not seen that in the mainstream. No, you've not seen that anywhere. Why? Because they don't want you to think that it's all bollocks. The Doom Goblin has gained some mass, according to Kaz. Yeah. You know what she's found, don't you? As they say in the Northeast, chucky pudding. Now, shall we get to Dr. Anthony Fauci? This scares me. Genuinely. Not much does. Horror movies? Nah. But some stuff. So Anthony Fauci, this man, he solicits more questions than answers. Are you aware that Fauci's institute hid Mpox, I think that's monkeypox, gain of function plans from Congress and the media? For nearly 9 years, Anthony Fauci's institute concealed plans to engineer a pandemic-capable Mpox virus with a case fertility rate of up to 15%. So 15% of everybody that got this would die. Now, the congressional investigators revealed in a new report Tuesday just gone. In June 2015, a scientist at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases received formal approval from the National Institutes of Health's Institutional Review Board. That is a gobful. For experiments expected to engineer a monkeypox virus with high transmissibility and moderate mortality. A new interim report describes the obstruction and secrecy around the Mpox proposals as a case study in how the Institute oversees and accounts for the monitoring of potentially dangerous gain-of-function research of concern. Anthony Fauci is at it. He's up to his eyeballs in the shite. Now, I've seen the video of him lying under oath. Wonder what will happen with that. If they're all at it, they're all being bought off, the politicians, absolutely nothing. Let me tell you this little story about an NHS medic who refused to get the jibber jabber and has now won a discrimination case after her boss labelled her an anti-vaxxer. So senior ultrasound specialist Gail Lauder caused a bit of tension with her work colleagues who reacted negatively. Can you remember those days when people were saying, have you had the jibber jabber? And some companies were saying, you can't work unless you've had the jibber jabber. And look at the NHS. They made them all have the jibber jabber. I mean, they must be bricking it in the NHS. Everyone was made to have it. And some of the colleagues, Gail's colleagues, reacted negatively to her stance, especially when she discussed it with patients. An employment tribunal heard her position and objection to being told to keep quiet about it. Yeah, don't be letting that go. It's called anti-locution. Shut your mouth and keep your head down. So some bosses branded her an anti-vaxxer. Now, a label that the Employment Tribunal found to be unfavourable treatment. Now, the panel was chaired by an employment judge, Sandy Michaeljohn, said, and I'm quoting, it drew on a stereotypical view that someone who was not vaccinated against the Charlie 19 must be an anti-vaxxer, in quotation marks. So you know how the narrative in the mainstream media is and was, if you haven't taken the jibber jabber, you are an anti-vaxxer. Well, an employment tribunal has just found, and I quote, unfavourable treatment. There are some companies that said you either take it or I'm sacking you. Some people couldn't do their job because they were told they had to have it. And now an employment tribunal has said, actually, that's unfavourable treatment. Just thought I'd let you know that because the wheel is turning. Should we talk about Hunter Biden? So he's been found guilty. But what comes next? Well, a jury on Tuesday found US President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, guilty of making false statements on a gun background check and of illegally possessing a firearm. In America, anyone taking drugs, knowingly addicted, cannot apply for a firearms. And Hunter didn't declare it. So here's what happens next. Are you ready? Sitting down, comfortable? So according to the mainstream press, who are sensationalizing the story, Hunter Biden is facing a maximum of 25 years in prison. But hang on a second. The sentencing guidelines for illegally possessing a firearm, so Hunter Biden's most serious offence is a 15 to 21 month for that offence. He's been found guilty for 3. Most offenders get less than that, less than 15 to 21 months. So he could serve multiple sentences concurrently. Biden didn't use the firearm in committing a violent crime. So no record, and has been complying with terms of his pre-trial release, including monthly drug testing. And some people are saying they are mitigating factors, and legal experts say Hunter Biden might not actually be jailed. So if they run concurrently, found guilty on 3 charges, most he can get is 15 to 21 months, not 25 years. So the judge might just go, put him on a tag, give him some kind of community work. But son of the president, he's not going to jail. My hairy backside. As Chip says, they seem to sue each other over the drop of a hat in America. Let us tackle this. It's all about narratives. It's all about timing, and it's all about narratives. So we know that the Europeans, they don't like it up them. And especially the left-wing Marxist socialist Europe definitely don't like it up them because they don't like to be questioned. They don't like to, hang on a second, I'm telling you what to do. Just do it. Don't question it. Just do it. Ursula von der Leyen at WEF in January. She said, and I paraphrase, well, over the next 2 years, because she talks like that when she's had a little G&T, over the next 2 years, we need to regain the trust of the electorate. It's working then, because I keep seeing in the mainstream media people melting down that the far right is rising through Europe and the USA. No. Now, according to the people that are responding this is how they control the narrative. There's left and there's centrist and then there's the right. So if you're really far right, like what happened in Germany in 1930s, and then you've got China and Russia and North Korea, all communist, far left. And we're just little centrists. We're just lovely, cuddly little centrists. Well, do you know, the public are turning around and saying, you flooded millions of third world immigrants into first world countries trying to erase white people. And they're blaming the far right. What does that actually mean? You've canonised the worst dregs of society and favour special privileges for all of those destroying our nations. And they're saying we're far right. You've tried to indoctrinate our kids in an effort to turn them into gay, trans, communists, or whatever is the next woke agenda. You forced us to fund endless wars. And they think this is far right. You've ruined the lives of millions of people by forcing them to choose between their careers or taking an experimental vaccine, you tarts. And the left's destroyed our economies. So they have to put a tag, they have to put a hat, they have to box you up and compartmentalise you, because that's the only way they can deal with you. But all the woke shite they foisted upon us, and everybody's turning. The world is turning. The worm is turning. And they're labelling them far right so that they can dehumanize people. So the funny thing is that it's not the far right. It's just normal people standing up to progressive tyranny. And they don't get it because they're the political classes. They just bullshit each other. They're all trying to get up the greasy pole and make as much money as possible, as many millions as they can. If they're politicians, politicians don't care as long as they don't get caught. So the narrative, the current narrative that's being promulgated is communist Marxist rule. The wokerati. We've had enough. We were told what to do in the pandemic, and we're trying to do the right thing by ourselves, our family, our community, and our country, if you will. They took the mickey out of us. And you've got to ask the question of the politicians, why are they selling out this country? Agenda 21, anyone? Money, money, money. It's a politician's world. They have the power and they just skim off the top and just put it away until they retire. Or build big castles or do whatever they want with the money. We have corruption. This is worldwide, not just this country. We have corruption on an epic scale. Epic. If they can give hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine to fund their defense against the Russians, or Israel to get the oil and gas out of the ground in Gaza. You've now got a bit of China helping the Danish get minerals out of the ground soon enough. But people are waking up. It's really simple. People are waking up. If you look at the system is broke. We need a different system. We don't need proportional representation. We don't need first past the post. We just need politicians to have some kind of integrity, not begging letters. I've had nothing through my door since I got the first 2 begging letters from Sir Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Maybe they've decided, we've won this. Ad hominem. Yeah, absolutely, Martin. People are sick and tired. They've had enough. They've had enough of the liars. They've had enough of the cheats. They've had enough of the corrupt. They didn't care about the peccadillos. That was just fodder for the media about, politicians sleeping around. As I said previously tonight, the two-party system. They want that so that they can control you. It's easy. Oh, yeah, vote for Nige. Vote for reform. Because the Tories are done. And then you're back to where you were. Two-party system and you're being controlled. I mean, look at it. So you have a political party that's being really liberal. That's why they call them liberal Democrats. Being really liberal. Yeah, let's legalise weed. Well, let's not. It's like, should we just legalise spice? Don't be stupid. We've literally got stabbings on a daily basis. There's the story that's been all over the press over the last few days. 2 12-year-olds killing an innocent man and literally shoving a machete through a man's back. It came out the front, through his heart. 12-year-old. I'll get to that story in a moment. So we've lost control. How can they be answerable? How can the feral kids be answerable? Who to? So they can see the politicians lying and cheating and sleeping around and grifting money off the top. I mean, how's Bojo got all these millions? His dad's not dead, so he's not inherited it. Maybe. But I will say this, the working man is a greedy man. 1 mortgage, 2 cars, 3 holidays. That never happened before the miners' strike in the 80s. When Thatcher got her claws into you, she knew what she was doing. Anybody with a mortgage is never going to strike. Anybody with a couple of cars at the door, because one's got to be done for the school run, while the other one, I'm taking that to work. 3 holidays a year? What, the actual? And as I say, Ursula von der Leyen in January at WEF says we have got to get the electorate to trust us again. And you know what else is not being talked about by these clowns that are doing the presidential debates? None of the UK political parties have said anything on the economic consequences of lockdowns. Not one of them. They're just like, move on, nothing to see here, move on. Move on. Well, actually, let's not. Let's just stand here and talk about the screw-up you made of this country. All of them. Because it's not just one political party, it's all of them. You had varying hues of politician getting the train from London up to Glasgow. You had various politicians. Oh, did I gub up? The only reason they gubbed up was they got found out. And there's Matt Hancock, heavy-handing his peccadillo behind closed doors when, I mean, how did he not know that there was a camera in that light fitting when he's trying to shove his tongue down her throat? Still together, seemingly. I'm going to give you... we'll talk about the EU in a second because it's Brexit, Jim, but not as we know it. I want to talk about the CIA. Why? Listen to this. The CIA have denounced Bibi Netanyahu as unhinged. Now, the CIA is saying that Bibi Netanyahu thinks he can get away with anything. And they're right, to be fair. $110 billion in one fell swoop, mate. A CIA assessment circulating amongst US officials this week concluded that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu likely judges he can get away without defining a post-war plan. Now, you're probably not aware of this, but America has told Israel that there will be a ceasefire. And Israel's gone, stuff you, we've got your money, don't need you now, up yours. Even as the Biden administration has launched a full court press to pressure Bibi Netanyahu to bring an end to the conflict in Gaza. Netanyahu, and I'm quoting, probably believes he can maintain support from his security chiefs and prevent defections. from the right wing of his coalition by discussing the future of Gaza in vague terms. This was a report that came out on June 3rd from the CIA. I've mentioned Ursula von der Leyen, and I know this has been quite heavy going this evening, but this is really important information that you're not going to get anywhere else because nobody else has got the kahunas. They've not got the sphericals to be able to deal with this, and they've not got the intellectual rigor either. I was going to name somebody there, but he wears pink bobble hats. So the EU has been shaken to its core. Why is that, Adrian? Well, the Europeans have had enough of the Brussels oligarchy. So it's the same, no matter where you go around the world. Isn't that bizarre? So the people are rising up, unless it's Canada or Australia, and they're not, they haven't got two IQ points to rub together between them in both countries. So you've got, seemingly, Justin, that's a man with a small penis, Justin Trudeau, the dictator. And the Australians, I feel so... what is going on in Australia? I have no idea. I could sit and regale you for hours and hours and hours about the absolute muck-ups that Australia is making of their own country. But we'll save that for another night. I want to talk about the Europeans because it's closer to us. So all of these elections are clearly showing that the EU and its boosters are failing to contain the public's anger. Told you, people are brassed off. They don't want it anymore. They're saying to the politicians, the political classes, and the political parties, you can all foxtrot Oscar. Now, the European elites have pulled every trick in the book to try to put the brakes on the populist surge, seemingly to little avail. Bless them. Now, these elections have also busted a number of persistent myths about anti-establishment voters. Anti-disestablishmentarianism, it's a movement against the church, and the longest word in the dictionary. The caricature of these voters as angry, racist, baby boomers needs to be retired immediately. Why? Well, for one thing, young people all across Europe are also rejecting the woke, green, Europhile consensus. I won't give an opinion on the political parties because we're in purdah. But the begging letters, some of these parties that think they're actually Johnny Big Bollocks, they're barely going to get 2 or 3 seats. And some of these parties that think they're going to be the opposition. So in France, a third of voters between 18 to 24 have told pollsters in France they would back National Rally, which is a right-wing, very right-wing party. And it's led in the European Parliament by a 28-year-old Jordan Bardella. So the youth, 18 to 24-year-olds, have said to the French pollsters, up yours, stuff you, we'll vote for the right. And like Marine Le Pen is just... I remember seeing TV in the 80s and 90s where the Le Pens were, oh, they're fascists. Yes, they're so far right. No, we can't have them in power. And now the electorate have gone, oh, here... we've given you a good go. You've made an absolute hash of stuff. So, Foxtrot Oscar, don't want to know, don't want you around, off you go. Goff. Over the last couple of days, I know you're working, I know you're distracted, I know there's like presidential erections going on. I'm sure Joe Biden can't get up anymore. He can't walk in a straight line. But are you aware expats living in France going mental over Le Pen? Why? Because surely that's democracy. Surely, if you have a vote and you vote and it doesn't go your way, I'm not pointing the fingers at anybody. It was like this with Brexit. So the anti-Brexiteers, when it didn't go their way, because there were 17.5 million people voted for out, and the 15, 16 million odd voted in and lost, they've done nothing but bellyache and bellyache and bellyache and project fear, because they, Labour, Keir Starmer, will have you back into Europe quicker than you can say, what the fuck did he do that for? It's Brexit, Jim, but not as we know it. The Tory party weren't supposed to gub this up. They weren't supposed to let you vote out. But there's been this meeting's not a strong enough word, get-together's not a strong enough word. But there's been a meeting by the Ukraine Reconstruction Agency. Now, I'm just going to work this through with you, because seemingly a Ukraine Reconstruction Agency is looking at, don't call me stupid, reconstructing Ukraine. But how would they want to do that if they're still at war? Because you and I know that Ukraine is the biggest money laundering country virtually in the world. It's the biggest in Europe, bless them. And we know that all Putin and Russia is after is the gas and the oil. They want to set up Russia independently with gas, oil, and energy. And that's why they want Crimea. That's why Russia wants Crimea. They're not interested in, well, they might want some of the minerals and the breadbasket, but America has pumped hundreds of billions of dollars into Ukraine. That's why Zelensky's missus gets some lovely handbags from Paris. And all this stuff that's under Ukraine, America wants a cut. That's just long-termism. The Americans know what's under there. Look, 9/11, I keep quoting this to you, but 9/11, they knew what was under the Caspian Sea. The Americans had known. Why do you think the Russians had invaded Afghanistan in the 80s? Because the Russians knew what was under the Caspian Sea, and the Russians wanted the oil and the gas out of the Caspian Sea, but they couldn't defeat the Taliban. The camel shaggers couldn't beat them. And then Russia retreated, and the Taliban laughed. And then America went and met with the Taliban and said, right, lads, you can either have a carpet of gold or you can have a carpet of bombs. And the Taliban, and I'm paraphrasing, said, here, Foxtrot Oscar, we're not interested. And the Americans said, no, we're being serious. You can either have a carpet of gold, we'll build a pipeline out of the Caspian Sea down through Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, to a warm water port in Pakistan, and then we'll distribute it around the world. So you can have a carpet of gold, and all the money that comes from protecting the pipeline from the Caspian Sea for us and the Russians. Or you can have a carpet of bombs. We'll bomb the hell out of you. Now it's entirely up to you, lads. Which one do you want? And the Taliban still went, we're in charge here. Afghanistan's ours. Here, up yours. Foxtrot Oscar. 9/11 happened. And what did the Americans do? They absolutely mullered the Tora Bora mountain range in Afghanistan. They were using B-52s, long range, big bombs. Why would they do that? Because that's where they built the pipeline. So Putin was over at Bush's ranch. This is Vladimir Putin, head honcho in Russia. He was at George Bush's ranch within 5 days of 9/11. Why would he be at George Bush's ranch in Texas? Because everybody hates Vladimir Putin. He's Russian. He's the bogeyman now. So they built the pipeline, and Russia's making shed loads out of it, as is America. So the Ukraine Reconstruction Agency chief quits before the recovery conference. Now, he's called Mustafa Naim. He announced his resignation in a Facebook post. Right, lads, I'm off. Oh, yeah, by the way, see how many hearts and likes I can get. He posted his resignation on Facebook. Can't make it up. I'm not making it up, I promise you. So he posted his resignation on Monday after previously sending a strongly worded message to a number of foreign partners criticising the Ukrainian administration for a wide range of mistakes. Oh, let us guess. It'll have something to do with all the money that went into the country and has disappeared. Naim said the final straw was when his permission to travel to Berlin was revoked. Now, if I was anybody in charge anywhere, ever, I wouldn't be flying at the minute. I mean, if you look at Iran, you've now got the Malawi vice president, dead. And so a military plane, that was a military plane carrying the vice president of the East African nation of Malawi, along with 9 other people, crashed, burned, died. They said, oh, it went off the radar and, well, it failed to make a scheduled landing. Yeah, it landed all right. So all of a sudden, we've got all these presidents being stabbed, some surviving, but they're being stabbed. Some presidents, head honchos, are in plane crashes, some dying. Well, most dying. Don't come back from a plane crash. And there's politicians having stuff chucked at them. And quite rightly, the police were on this boy that chucked the stuff at Nigel Farage and should jail him. Should jail him. This is democracy of some kind. But you can't have politicians on the hustings trying to get your vote and then somebody going, oh, yeah, there's a custard pie. You can't have other people chucking stuff at politicians. No, absolutely not. Jail the fecker for 20 years and keep him inside. Stop mucking about. People that think they can break the law and people that think they can get away with it can't. I'm going to give you a bit of insight, a bit of context, and I'm going to give you something to watch for as I kind of round this whole thing off. I did say I was only going to do an hour. Elon Musk. Yeah, as Alan said, throw arguments, not objects. I completely agree with you. Unacceptable. Because I saw the headline, it came up as an alert on my phone that somebody had thrown rocks at Nigel Farage. And then it disappeared. When I went searching for it, couldn't find it. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is really important, because it's, you know, we've got X, which is kind of free speech. Most of the other social media platforms don't allow it. But I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that Elon Musk is about to depart Tesla? Now, they'll keep it quiet because it'll affect the share price. But Tesla and investors have been locked in a battle to agree to Elon Musk's Tesla remuneration. Let me run through this for you. Seemingly, since 2018, it was agreed that Elon Musk would be paid $56 billion pay. Now, the Tesla chairwoman is now warning there is a meeting tomorrow, but she's warning that a revolt by investors could prompt Elon Musk to walk away from Tesla. Norway's 1.7 trillion sovereign wealth fund is attempting to reject Musk's package at a shareholders meeting tomorrow because they don't like CEOs or head honchos being paid shed loads of money. Now, Musk's pay deal, because it's already agreed, but the investors are balking at it, is the biggest pay deal in corporate America, bar none. And according to Musk, so far, roughly 90% of retail shareholders supported both his package and a second resolution to move Tesla incorporation to Texas. Now, Tesla's chairwoman is Robin Denham, and I'm quoting, "What we recognized in 2018 and continue to recognize today is that one thing Elon Musk most certainly does not have is unlimited time." But I read a very interesting article the other day that says that the cost of batteries and electric cars, and they're not seemingly as they're becoming cost prohibitive. Malia, there's only another 2 minutes. So will Elon Musk use this and not getting his pay package by agreed in 2018, so it's 6 years ago, $56 billion Is he going to walk away at the very point where electric cars are being consigned to the bin? Watch it tomorrow. It'll be all over the news. The meeting's tomorrow, but nobody's talking about it, or certainly not the mainstream media. Now, I read them all every day. I want to ask you a couple of questions before I round something off, and I didn't get that fly. It's just reappeared. I'm looking at certain things. The 100th live is looming. I want to get there and have a kind of celebration of how far we've come in the nearly 2 years. But if I was to say to you, and I'd love you to put your answer in the text, in comments right now, and please don't hold back. What do you think this channel is about? What do you think this channel is about? How would you describe it? One. So what's one? A Battenberg with 100 candles on. I'll bloody burn my eyebrows off, man. Because if I was to... Somebody asked me this question the other day. I was telling them about the channel. And they said, so what's it about? And I thought, I can't get that down to a single sentence. Because I waffled for about 5 minutes and I just thought, no, that's not the answer. And is it about social commentary? Enlightening the public. Very good. Truth. Lots of people are saying truth. But I'm trying to get it to one sentence. It's kind of marketing, and I'm not a marketer or marketeer. But I'm trying to get it down to one sentence. And truth could be in there. Enlightenment could be in there. Martin Sullivan says it can't be defined, and that's the point. Interesting. So, okay, if that's the case, why do you come to this channel? I know that we have a regular community. We have the Body of the Kirk on a Sunday and Wednesday nights. But why do you come to this channel? For commentary of what's going on? Vivian, that's very kind of you. You explain things in a way we can all understand. Very interesting. Thank you, Viv. So, final question. Because I'm also looking at this. Because I can't continue to do this channel for no money. I can't. Do you want membership setting up for the channel? I'm not quite sure what that would look like. Maybe it's an extra live. Maybe it's radio archive. Maybe I do videos that I only do for you as members. But do you want membership for this channel setting up? I'm very curious. Yeah. But if I made it 99p a month, I mean, it's the McDonald principle, pilot high, sell it cheap. Free Battenberg, you're wrong. You see, I'm really conflicted, really conflicted, because we would need, this is all for sort of the 100th live and 10,000 subs, which I'm sure will come very, very soon at some point this year. If I set membership up and I had like 1,000 people out of 10,000 subs as members, that would enable me to be able to do more. It would enable me to create different things, and so the membership would help me. I get very little money from YouTube, very little money, and I don't know how. I am going to tell you a story over the next couple of weeks, because there's been stuff going on. And 99p a month would do that. Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm not. Some people charge $7.99 and $5.99. I just think that's. I don't want a Porsche. I don't want expensive holidays. I just want to be able to cover my derriere and be able to work for this channel, because it's important that we do this work. It really is important. Who's that? Ria Odell. I missed you a lot since you're not on the radio much anymore. So I was pleased and relieved to see you on YouTube. Thank you, Ria. I do appreciate it. Your words are very kind. Thank you. So I think setting up membership is favourable. As I say, it's not going to happen immediately, but this work is important. Cutting through the fog of war. Ask for coffee, Nicholas? Yeah, could do. My only reservation around all of this is the reason I started the channel when I started it was because of what was going on with, I'm not going to name him. You know who I'm talking about. And he was just saying, give me a pound, give me a pound, give me a pound. But people shed loads of money. And I'm not in this for the money. So that's my reservation. But I am going to have to make some money somehow. Because if I don't, then I'm not going to be able to do this channel. Because it takes literally 4-5 days a week. And look, I'm not complaining because I love doing this. I love our community on a Sunday and a Wednesday. I love doing all of this. But it would facilitate me being able to do more. And I want to do more. So thank you for, a pound turned into hundreds. Dizzy Lizzie. Oh, there's a pop for you. I'll just pop your cherry, Dizzy Lizzie. Dizzy Lizzie says, I don't subscribe to anyone, but I would for this channel. That's how much I appreciate and enjoy it. Dizzy Lizzie, again, thank you for your very kind words. I'm not in this for, you blowing smoke up my backside. I'm genuinely interested. And I will guarantee you that all of the information I've given you this evening about some of the stuff in the background, about Ukraine and about America and about stuff that's going on politically and Elon Musk, you will get it nowhere else. Absolutely nowhere else. Thank you, Lauren. Yes, do it, Adrian. Everyone else has to do it. You have to cover yourself. None of us. Wrong'uns. What was the last couple of words? We'll moan. Well, not a lot. Thank you, Lauren. Look, thank you to everyone. I always appreciate your insights. I always appreciate, and you're always honest with me, as I am you. And that's why I love doing this for a couple of hours on a Sunday and a Wednesday. But it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. And I'm just looking at seeing how I can do it without a loss of quality, without losing its essence. And that's why I asked you, why do you come to this channel, and how would you describe it? So thank you to everyone that's been here this evening. Thank you to all your comments. I will get to them. It looks like it's been very busy. I know the live on Sunday, the comments were also very, very busy. So thank you to everyone that, does that mean I could actually get... Brilliant. The moderator says, does that mean I'll get paid in something else other than Mars bars? Yeah, Battenberg, you're wronging. And all the mugs are coming. If anyone knows how, and I'm looking at, again, it's, I want to have mugs for the channel. I want wronging mugs and stuff. But the pricing of it, trying to get, pay rise to Battenberg, I'm trying to get the price point of printed mugs down below a £5. It becomes silly. I can go out and buy a mug for, say, 14, 15 quid. I don't want them to be expensive. I want them to be something that you would drink out of and laugh to yourself. Or other people go, you calling me a wrong'un? Is the shipping for the mugs worldwide? It can be, Stuart. I don't want people to think, Jesus, 50 quid for a mug, or 50 quid for a hoodie or stuff. And I want things to be done tastefully. So I'm trying to find a supplier that will not take my eyes out and say, oh, well, you've got to order 1,000 of them. Because I'm never going to sell 1,000 mugs. I may sell 50 or 100 over time, but I don't want to charge you 15 quid, because it'll be a fiver for the mug, a fiver for the postage. And I just don't want you to feel that plastic mugs, you're wrong, that I've kind of taken your eyes out. I want the experience of you buying a mug from this channel to be funny, and joyous and something that you would use regularly and something to promote the channel amongst other people. Temu, China will do them. God, blimey, they'll do them for 50p, I think. Temu, they want to be the new Amazon. Blimey, it's the Chinese, man. They'll make it for like 5p and then sell it to you for £5. Temu's brilliant. Brilliant. Although I'm not a fan of their t-shirts. Polyester. So we're kind of veering off now, and I wish you... this channel is informative news commentary. Interesting. So my integrity, with anything that I'm doing, I want to maintain integrity, because there's not a lot outside of this community where you can say that politician's got integrity. Adrian Allen only fans. You don't want to see me in a mankini, although it might make me a few bob, more than I'm making at the minute. Can you imagine? I did think about OnlyFans doing my radio archive, and I found some more archive of some more calls, like hours of it, that I didn't even know that I had. So thank you to everyone who's indulged me this evening. Lottie, integrity is very rare, I know, which is why I can't, like, I'm aware of what the convicted stalker did, and I want integrity. So everything that I've done, when I started the channel, people were at me because of newspaper articles that had been left up online and shouldn't have been because they were subject to a judge's order, and other things. Everything that I do, I want it to be integral, and it have integrity and a cheeky smile on its face. Townlock Tracy is a £5 a month. I'm sure she is. So let's round this off, because it's I've really enjoyed tonight. So thank you for your likes. Smash them, your wrong uns. There's still a fair few that haven't. So smash the likes. Don't forget to be subscribed. More videos coming. More videos coming. And be well. Stay well. Have a good night. Videos coming tomorrow, of course, because there's we can take the mickey out of the clowns again. And most of all, thank you for your indulgence. Love doing these for you. And whatever you do, even if you've got none in the larder, there's an old word for you. You can always think of the Battenberg and have a smile on your face, because you know the story. Be well. And I'll see you in the next live Sunday at 8, even though there's footy on. You're wrong uns. You've made me do it. What can I say? Tough audience. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your opinions. And I will pantry. There's a joke in there somewhere, Nicholas. And I'll see you for the live on Sunday with more videos coming tomorrow. Thank you, Sarah Ann. And thank you to everyone that's indulged me this evening. Do appreciate it. See you soon.